The Mothman is a creature reported in the Charleston and Point Pleasant areas of West Virginia between November 12, 1966, and December 1967. It's described as a winged, man-sized creature with large reflective red eyes and large moth-like wings. Sometimes it appeared to have no head, with its eyes set into its chest. On November 15, 1966, two young, married couples from Point Pleasant, David and Linda Carberry and Steve and Mary Mallette, were traveling late at night in the Carberry's car. They were passing the West Virginia Ordnance Works, an abandoned World War II TNT factory, about 7 miles north from Point Pleasant, in the 2,500-acre McClinton Wildlife Station, when they noticed two red lights in the shadows by an old generator plant near the factory gate. They stopped the car, and reportedly discovered that the lights were the glowing red eyes of a large animal, shaped like a man, but bigger, maybe 6.5 or 7 feet tall, with big wings folded against its back, according to Roger Carberry. Terrified, they drove toward Route 62, where the creature supposedly chased them at speeds exceeding 100 kilometers per hour. However, as quoted in Keel's The Mothman Prophecies, the Carberrys, despite driving more than 100 kilometers per hour, claimed to have noticed a dead dog on the side of the road, and in fact made such accurate note of its location that they claimed to have gone back the very next day and looked for it. Explanations for how they were able to make so accurate a mental note at a time of such great distress, or why they would go back to look for the dead dog, are not included in Keel's book. The following night, on November 16, several armed townspeople combed the area around the TNT plant for signs of Mothman. Mr. and Mrs. Raymond Walmsley, and Mrs. Marcella Bennett, with her infant daughter Tina in tow, were in a car en route to visit their friends, Mr. and Mrs. Ralph Thomas, who lived in a bungalow among the igloos. The igloos were now empty, some owned by the county, others by companies intending to use them for storage. They were heading back to their car when a figure appeared behind their parked vehicle. Mrs. Bennett said that it seemed like it had been lying down, slowly rising up from the ground, large and gravy, with glowing red eyes. While Walmsley phoned the police, the creature walked onto the porch and peered in at them through the window. On November 24, 4 people allegedly saw the creature flying over the TNT area. On the morning of November 25, Thomas Urey, who was driving along Route 62 just north of the TNT, claimed to have seen the creature standing in a field, and then it spread its wings and flew alongside his car as he sped toward the Point Pleasant Sheriff's Office. On November 26, Mrs. Ruth Foster of Charleston, West Virginia reportedly saw Mothman standing on her front lawn, but the creature was gone by the time her brother-in-law went out to investigate. Further, on the morning of November 27, the creature allegedly pursued a young woman near Mason, West Virginia, and was reported again in St. Albans the same night, by 2 children. A Mothman sighting was again reported on January 11, 1967, and several other times that same year. Fewer sightings of the Mothman were reported after the collapse of the Silver Bridge, when 46 people died. The Silver Bridge, so named for its aluminum paint, was an I-bar chain suspension bridge that connected the cities of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and Kananga, Ohio over the Ohio River. The bridge was built in 1928, and it collapsed on December 15, 1967. Investigation of the bridge wreckage pointed to the failure of a single I-bar in a suspension chain due to a small manufacturing flaw. There are rumors that the Mothman appears before upcoming disasters, or that the Mothman causes disasters.